Welcome to the Unphased Podcast, the number one motivational show in the world, where we do our best to show you how to stay unfazed in this world that will definitely try to phase you. I'm here as always, your unfazed sensei and guru, Phazon McClurge. We got Real Deal McNeil here as well, but today's guest, this is a big one. This day 29, like I just told the guys, this is my number, day 29. But today's guest is someone I've watched level up in real time, not just on the field, but in life. From college days at Cornell, where he battled through injuries and setbacks and then became a team captain and an all Ivy League honoree. But what makes him truly elite isn't the stats or anything he did at Cornell University or at Buffalo, it's the mindset. This guy has stepped into the mental health space with purpose, using his platform to speak on resilience, identity, and the importance of emotional wellness for athletes and beyond. Whether it's through leadership conferences, behind the scenes mentorship, he's helping rewrite the narrative around what strength really looks like, people. Words can't explain how proud I am, how inspired I am, and how happy I am to be a witness to this guy's life journey. So I told him before this, I'm looking through the list of the 30 days and looking at all the guests. I'm like, we can't go 30 days without having this guy on the pod. We just can't do that. So for the day 29, a very special day, there's nobody I could think of that's better. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live next, we have Mr. Demetrius Harris. Let me go back. My bad. I just messed up his name. Demetrius.
Well,
I call him.
Demetrius Harris, you can mess up
No, look, no,
everybody's
look,
name,
no,
Phase.
look. Because I be talking too fast. I call him
Be
Meech. We
excited.
got
That boy excited.
Demetrius Harris coming to you live. Let's do it.
I'm unfazed, I'm unfazed, yeah, I'm unfazed. I'm unfazed, yeah, I'm unfazed. I'm unfazed, yeah, finna stack this paper. I'm unfazed, yeah, finna stack this paper. I'm unfazed.
Oh yeah, yeah. We are.
Appreciate y'all,
You right.
man.
You right. Wow, this a big one. This is a big one. This is a huge
We almost at
episode,
30,
bro.
man. We almost at 30.
Come on
We're
now.
almost at 30, bro. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you taking the time. And like I said, bro, we did the
Party
Streaming University
people.
episode, right?
Yeah,
That was an
yeah,
amazing episode. But I told you we had to bring you back on and we had to talk about what you're doing.
What they
Because
say
you
I
were
had to
doing
do it
yes,
some,
again,
sir.
right?
had to do it again because you're doing some amazing things. I know we talked about Streaming University, all that. That's cool and all. But what you're doing
Yeah,
is light years ahead of all that. You know what I mean? It's so important. All the
I
work you're
appreciate
doing
it.
in the mental health space, all the everything that you've been through, just your life, like I said, is living testimony, bro. And I'm very proud of you and I'm very happy to have you on the pod today, bro. So I'm gonna give you
I
another one.
appreciate
Come
you,
on.
man.
We should have
I
started.
appreciate you,
I
man.
think I'm big meat. Oh,
Come on.
um,
Larry Hoover. Oh,
Come on, bro. Come on.
hey, I appreciate you for the intro, man. Hearing it from a brother, it means the most. It means the most to me, man.
100%, bro. And
Uh,
we're gonna get right into it, bro. We ain't even gonna waste no
let's
time.
do it.
Because
Let's
I
do it.
want to, there's so much that we didn't get to talk about last time. So I'm going to get right into it, though. So you're in the mental
Yeah,
health space. I'm going to say this. When we first thing you said when we got on here, and this is before um, Real Deal McNeil came on, you were saying you watched the pod, you seen Lonnie's episode, and you're like, damn, I didn't even know that about, bro. Like, I
yeah,
didn't even know that. But
yeah,
I'm thinking that's the same way I feel about you and all of our brothers. Like I said, we all in life doing all these great things. And if you could have told me at Cornell, my dude Meech, he's advocating for mental health. He's doing all these things he's doing for his city and his school. I'd be like, yeah, I
yeah.
can see it, but not like, he playing football. This my dude. I don't know. I don't know. So
Right.
I'm so excited. And I want you to just tell me, like, to pop it off, like, what is mental health for you right now? Like, what does that look like? Just define that for us and tell us a little bit about what you're doing.
Yeah, for sure. So, mental health to me, first and foremost, the health, it's emphasis on the health piece. It's a big emphasis on the health piece. You know, a lot of in my community, I see a lot of people that deal with mental issues. Myself, I've dealt with mental issues with my upbringing, you know, and like you mentioned, with the injuries and things that I went through, those setbacks, it's setbacks, you know, it's challenges, it's obstacles. But that health piece is like that response to the problem and that response to the issue and how you go about it, because it can be detrimental if you go about it the wrong way. And
Mhm.
myself, I went through it the wrong way. I had bad coping mechanisms,
Mm,
but it's so many people that rely on me, and so many people that
mm,
not go about those issues the wrong way, because I not
mhm,
only hurt myself, but I hurt people that that I have those attachments to. So
mhm,
it's that health piece. I like to compare it to emotional intelligence.
mm.
We all go about, we all live our lives. We all have 24 hours. You have people in the corporate world that, that deal with customers that, can trigger them, that can make them emotional. But that's where that intelligence piece come in at. It's like how you respond to those issues. Like, how do you respond? Because you can't control nobody else but yourself.
Okay.
So with that in mind, it's like, I need to get myself together. I need to make sure I have a lot of emphasis on that health piece, because I know who I'm affecting. I know that I have younger generations inspired by
Mm,
my story. So um,
mhm.
that's what mental health is to me, and we all know the stigma around it. As a black
Oh
man,
yeah.
we know the stigma around it, and as an athlete, we so focused on performing at our very best. We so focusing on proving ourselves right and proving others wrong that we don't really know where we at. We don't have that self awareness. That's why a lot of times you see former athletes kind of lost in life. So that's a little bit of what mental health is to me in a nutshell, and
Yeah.
emphasis on that health piece for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's huge, bro. And I think one of the things you even touched on is like some of the coping mechanisms that you've seen for yourself that maybe weren't healthy. And I kind of
Right,
want to even talk about that because I feel like for mental health, like you saying, it's the stigma is like, yeah, we don't need to talk about it. Or like for black people, it's like, man, we don't need to go to therapy. Like we just talk it, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, we'll throw some
right,
drinks back, talk it out, whatever it is. But I feel like there's this quote. I think it's like J.K. Rowling. It was like a rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life. And I think that's huge because I think a lot of the
If
worst
I'm about to cook
times
like that one.
in
it
our
just cook.
life,
It just yeah,
some of the worst times or the hardest times in our life is that moment where we then change and we see, like, okay, I'm going to grow from
yeah,
here. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So I kind of want to
yeah.
ask you, what were some of those things? We don't got to get like super deep into it, but like as
Right,
far as like when you were going through those setbacks at Cornell, those injuries and things like that,
right.
what was the difference between then and now and how you're dealing with like mental health and coping mechanisms and things like that?
Yeah. Well, first of all, as an advocate, and what helps me reach whoever I'm trying to reach, whether it's the you or anybody up here, is the full transparency. So I have no issue getting into it.
Yeah.
But I couldn't really focus on school. Like first, it was a culture shock for me. Come from a small city, and I'm
To an
placed on this
Ivy League
campus
school.
to an
Ivy
Ivy
League
League school,
school.
bro.
Come on
To
now.
an
Start
Ivy
here.
League.
Start here.
You feel me?
Start here.
Like, but honestly, it was a culture shock for me. Like everything was, just different. The people I bumped across, people, the shoulders that I, brushed, but I still had things going on at home that didn't allow me to really just focus on my studies and focus on ball. And COVID ain't 2020. COVID didn't make it no better at all. So I just had a lot of that alone time, and I honestly can say that was like where I hit my rock bottom moment. The beauty and the blessing behind all of that is I had some guys that had my back through it all.
Mhm.
I had Phaz, I had Kobe, I had Tyson, I had Delonte, I had Jelani. And similar to what Jelani said about um, on the last a few episodes back, he said it was the people that helped him commit, or like Phase, it was the people that helped him commit. Like similar story, it was the people that helped me commit and that helped me get through a lot of my tough times. But it took for me to hit rock bottom to realize, like, all right, I'm going through some things. I came into Cornell, big shoulders, broad chest, coming off a state championship from high school. Like I'm feeling like the man, but I got humbled real quick, and I needed that. And
Mhm.
that's when I hit rock bottom, and I had to realize, like, all right, I need to do something about this. Like, I need to do something with myself. I need to figure some things out. And that's when I realized, like, I was going through some mental issues. And
Mhm.
for me, it was the people in my corner. I didn't go get therapy right away. And I had mentors. I had people um, that had access to my like what I was going through that asked me the right questions and things like that and challenged me. So that was a time where I started to figure out what was going on, and I realized, like I said, like I can't pour from an empty cup. Like I want to continue to inspire youth, but if I don't have myself together, it's impossible for me to do that.
Mm.
Um, and then Coach Back is one of my defensive coordinators.
Ooh,
Hey, he would text you at 4 in the morning
for
with a
real.
quote, with a quote that'll just get you right, like how you thinking.
Yeah.
And I honestly give a lot of respect to him for that because he didn't need to do it. So it was the people that I had in my corner at the time. And then as I grow and as I got older, now I want to pay it forward. Now I'm looking to pour into the youth. And
Mm.
that's rewarding for me. It's rewarding when I can be what I needed at the time. And that kind of helped me reset, helped me stay grounded. And it just helped me share my story. It helped me like just impact. And that's something that's very rewarding for me.
Mm.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Me, first and foremost, I just want to say I commend you as a newfound brother, first and foremost.
For sure.
But most importantly, for an African American man who is willing to share not only his journey through mental health challenges with himself, because I think that is very important, especially of men of color. I can't speak, what I'm saying, for any other race because I am a black man. But for so many of us, we struggle with, the nature and ability to express our emotions, to express
Yes.
ourselves, to, be okay with understanding that it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we always think we gotta have it together, have the money, have the clothes, have the cars, have the girls, have the, you know what I'm saying? But when things
Right.
are not panning out like that for us, we fall into this depression. And for somebody who has been at a place, as you say, rock bottom, that we can relate to because of not only our skin color, but the many challenges that men of our skin color go through, to hear you voice that, to hear you share your challenges and how you've overcome them, I feel like is significantly impactful for the men in our community. So I guess my statement and or quote unquote question would be, what do you feel your duty to the men of our community or minority or just men in general is when it comes to this mental health advocacy portion of the journey you're embarking in.
Yeah. It's sharing my story. It's literally just sharing my story. And that comes with me just being accountable and just being real with myself. Being real with myself. I'm far from perfect, but again, I'm from a small city. It can come off as just this perfect guy. Like I don't have it all made up, and like you said, it's okay to not be okay. Um, but we raised as black men to be tough, to be strong, to have all these attributes. Um, and we forget that it's so much strength in speaking up and speaking up when we're not okay. Um, so that's where the disconnect is at. That's where the disconnect is at. I
Hmm.
see the connection. So if I'm a person that see the connection, I feel it's my job and my purpose to bring light to that, to bring more light into that.
Hmm.
Um, Again, it's just bringing light to like speaking. Like I lie at the intersection of sports and mental health. And
Hmm.
like I've mentioned, with sports, we're so focused on, reps. We're so focused on performing. Like, why don't we treat our mind the same way? It's like one of the strongest muscles in our body. So, like, why not treat that the same exact way? So I'm just so focused on bringing light to that. And again, if I'm somebody that have a platform that the younger generation is inspired by, I feel it's my job to share these things and bring light to it.
Yeah.
And and I try to put a little twist on it. Like it's cool, it's cool
I was just gonna
to
say
have that
that.
self awareness. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah.
nothing, there's no weakness in that whatsoever. So
Because me, one thing that's really cool about like what I'm hearing from both of y'all, and E kind of touched on it too, but in the mental health space, right? Like if you want to talk about mental health, we talk about like black men and all this, but in general for everybody in the mental health space, like the main thing people will tell you to do is just like, hey, like talk to somebody. They like
Support.
Yeah.
talk it out. You know what I mean? Get that off. But it's so simple. Like it's like if that's what mental health is, it's just talking. But it's one of those things where it's simple, but it's not easy, right?
Exactly.
Because we grow up in a world where like we're supposed to be tough and we're supposed to be
Exactly.
this and everything. But it's
Never
like
let
the
nobody see
simplest
try.
thing. Exactly. And it was so powerful. And I started realizing that at Cornell too, being surrounded people like Jelani, like Mo and Lee, because it was funny because like just the conversations they had were
Yeah.
so beyond the surface level. It was like, dang, you really just thinking. It makes you think about yourself. It makes you, you know what I mean? So that's why I try to put myself in situations where people are having those type of conversations because that rubs off on you so much. And
Yeah.
just like you were saying, Meech, somebody like you, like small town state championship, the cool dude, you know what I mean? I'm here, I run this. But
Yeah.
then you get to people and you start talking and opening up about your feelings, your emotions. Or if I get to open up about my feelings, or he does that same, people gonna be like, oh, that might be cool if he's doing it because
Right.
he's that
Right.
guy. You know what I mean? And
Exactly.
that opens up that
Exactly.
And
conversation. So no,
also
I feel
too,
that.
Phase, to add on to that, and
Yeah.
just on what we're saying as a collective, having a support group or support system or just people who can relate makes you have that sense of I'm not in it alone. I'm not walking through this alone. I'm not going through this battle, this journey alone. I'm not the only person dealing with this challenge. So again, that brings a sense or level of comfortability. And then also to y'all's point of just having somebody to talk to. Most times people don't even realize just talking, getting it off your chest, getting it out into the open, you can begin to hear and process and work through a lot of your issues and problems just by hearing them. But when you internalize them, you can only work so much out in your head. So
Hmm.
as you start to speak and speak on it, you kind of like, okay, damn. Like a lot of times I've had epiphanies like, damn, like, okay, now never mind, like I got it. But I would have never been able to do that not had I not had somebody I can just explain. And I've recently experienced that a lot, even with talking to Phase challenges, you know what I'm saying, my creativity levels, but not only that, my brain and the capacity of which it's like, okay, I'm so overwhelmed within, but as soon as I start speaking it out, he begins to help it make sense for me. And then I begin to hear
Right.
myself make it make sense as I'm saying it.
Yes.
Right.
And
So
Right.
it's
a lot of
crazy.
people just need that outlet, that
Yeah.
additional resource. And that's why we're like, we here, you know what I'm saying, you're developing a platform where you're sharing that. Because again, a lot of people don't even understand it doesn't have to be another person. It could be a
Hmm.
platform. It could be just you voicing yourself over a recording, anything like that. Just getting it out there, speaking it, because
Exactly.
you begin to find that sometimes you're not speak. You don't need to speak to anybody else because you need to just speak to yourself. And
Right.
it's getting it
That's
out there. You
real.
can hear that,
That's
and
real.
it sounds
That's
clear.
real.
And I think it's
Yeah.
crazy too, like just like you were saying, how the brain works, because like you're saying how like when I communicate with you, I communicate on a certain level and you communicate on a certain level. So me and you will have a conversation, they'll open you up to certain things, but at the same time, when I say things to you, I say them for myself.
Right. You
You
speak
know
it
what I
to
Yeah.
mean?
yourself.
Yeah.
So it's like when you
Yeah.
get things out and you just have those conversations, I'm like, and you say it, it's like, okay, when you hear how it sounds, it's like, hey, the answer kind of right there. It's kind of simple, but
Yeah.
it's just I'm in my head. I don't want to talk to it. I don't want to talk about it. My emotions start running. I start thinking a whole bunch of different things. And I think the importance of that too, like in Meech, what I wanted to ask you as well is that those conversations, what kind of conversations in those darker moments, right? On those lower times,
Mhm.
because I have stories, you know what I mean, about myself, but what are those conversations? I think, I guess what I'm trying to say is a lot of the mental health part too has to do not with talking to people, but how you talk to yourself. You know what I
Right.
mean? And
Mhm.
how
And to
you're
that
treating
point,
yourself.
phase
Mhm.
Yeah.
too, which I'll let me take this over as well.
Mhm.
But I was going because I was even going to ask how important or how imperative is it for just positive affirmation of self.
Mm,
You know what I'm
Oh
saying? Because a
yeah.
lot of times we
Very.
beating ourselves up. Is all this
Yeah.
depression is coming from how we feel within, not realizing if we just reshape our mindset. Like I heard Deion Sanders the other day talking about how he was dealing with the cancer situation and getting his bladder removed or whatever. And then somebody asked him like, um, how did it feel, standing in the face of death? And he was like, standing in the face of death, like I'm standing in the face of life. Like you gotta
Right.
want to live. You know what I'm saying? You gotta
Yeah.
want to respond, and you got a lot to live for. But when you
Yeah.
think all that is coming in the future is just death and darkness, whatever, that's how you think and change your mind. So I'll let you
Mhm.
kind of speak on that.
Yeah. It's a couple things I want to quickly touch on first before I answer that question. It was so it's the small gesture that I do. I ask a person what's your mental health on a scale of 1 to 10. It's
Mm,
something that I adopted from my mentor. He asked me, and it gave me a sense of self awareness. It made me pause and really think about like where I'm at. How do I, how do I base my scale? And it's something that I picked up on, and it's a small gesture. But then again, like I said, you get to assess where a person is at currently, like what they feeling, like what they thinking, and then you can, if they want to elaborate on it more, you can get tie in some spirituality to it. I like to tie in
mm,
spirituality because again, that's what keeps me grounded.
mhm,
So so to answer the question, I was like, that's how I get my affirmations. I know I know there's a such thing as seasons. I know there's a such thing as obstacles, and I
mm,
know that both of them are temporary. So that's
mm.
what kind of helped me keep my
Hey,
chin up.
talk that talk.
You know, yeah, yeah. So that's
Hey,
what
let me
helped
ask
me
you.
kind of keep my chin up and understand and try to learn what's there for me to learn in that season. Like you can't really get what God is trying to give you if your
Mhm,
mind is all over the place or if you're down and out about that particular situation. So
mhm.
that's what helped me keep a clear mind, try to look at things from all angles and see what I can learn from the situation.
And I want to say
And
something on that too, Meech. My bad. But
but
a conversation I have with Ginger a lot of the times too is because once I got into this space, I don't know when. It's probably like since I was a kid because I kind of always been like this. Is like I'm very conscious of the words that I say, right? So I talk to Ginger about this all the time because she'll just say certain things, or even anybody around me. It's like, okay, you say like you think with a cup half empty rather than a cup half filled, and not that the world is not bad, not that bad things will never happen, because like you said, it's all about seasons, right?
mhm,
But the
mhm.
way you talk about the small things, where I like, I don't want to go to work, I'm tired, I hate like just those small things. And a lot of people say them just playingly, right? So you got
Yeah,
to be careful who
yeah,
you're around, because then you get to just saying all these things
It's
playfully,
playful
but
until you
that
start
goes
feeling like
into your
that.
head and you
facts,
start feeling
Hmm.
like now your
facts,
body gonna feel tired, now your
facts.
emotions gonna be tired, you know what I mean? All that. But I think one of the main things that I started to focus on is like the power of the tongue and how powerful that is. Because I
Yeah,
think
Life is in the
in
beholder,
having
the
those
power of the tongue.
conversations with her, I've changed my mindset and I've been able to help her change, because now you look at things and you're vibrating on a completely different level that
yeah,
is beneficial in how you move.
yeah. There's definitely power in the tongue, and there's definitely power in the perspective. Like that's
Hmm.
if you are as temporary, like you more than likely gonna get, like I said, get what you need out of that situation.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes.
and that's a good
Yes.
that's a good habit that you adopt early. Like knowing that it's power in the tongue. Like be careful what you're speaking.
And I think it's even in football for me too. Like when you like, I think a big thing for me was like I'll make a bad play or like I'll do something like, "Oh, damn," like that, just negativity. I beat myself up so much to the point where it's like I thought that was fuel for me. But in the end, I was like taking energy out of my body, like physically doing all like I don't even got to do all that. I feel like next play mentality. And it's like I
Yeah,
had next play mentality, but it was like, okay, when the losses start stacking up, when it's like, okay, this start
yeah,
happening, this start happening,
yeah,
this start. And now it's like that just flew. And then that's when you catch yourself in a slump. And it's like, I've
yeah,
been in a slump and I know we've all been in slumps. So I think that is powerful just to see that. And what I've seen too is like my perspective. And once you change your perspective, your life starts to change. Like just the way
yeah,
you see things change, right?
And Phase,
yeah,
not even like, and just to add on that point too,
Hmm.
I think a big portion of that too in sports, and I'll just kind of speak in sports, but it can
Yeah.
definitely no life correlation to life. I feel like you gotta know how to block out the noise too,
Hmm.
because to that point, like I've been, and I'll just use this analogy as an example because we've all been there. As much as we can say, we know it's not easy. As much as we can say, speak positivity to you, because again, you will have those good teammates that are patching the bell like, bro, it's good. Next play, we do whatever. When it's real early and you're up. But what about that fourth quarter late game play where you don't make the play, and now people not happy about it? You know what I'm saying? Bro, trash, woo, woo, woo. Everybody in your ear. You know what I'm saying? You have to believe in self. You know what I'm saying? In self. You have to believe in self at the end of the day, because everybody is not going to be, again, we talk about support group, but sometimes it is just you.
yeah,
It's not. always for everybody to encourage and uplift. Because again, like we said, self affirmations, you have to believe you are the dog within. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter the mistake. Like again, when that late game pass happened for you and you dropped, there wasn't even no play, no time left on the clock. You couldn't
Hmm.
go back and recatch that ball. There was nothing you could do differently in that game
Hmm.
after that happened. And you could
Hmm.
have walked around with your head down. You could have, people could have, man, Phase, woo, 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 woo. But then
Hmm.
again, you have to know within yourself, like, man, that one moment don't define me.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
What that
Yes.
one
Yeah.
situation you're going on in life does not define who you are. If you can somehow, uplift yourself to move outside of that and continue to push forward and persevere. But again, it does begin with the support group, having the trust of your teammates, but also to practicing to perfection. You know what I'm saying? You have to start repping things in life. Not and just this is now off sports, but you got to start repping positive behavior in life,
Yeah.
positive affirmation, positive counseling or seeking support, positive conversation. Everything can't be negative. I swear, like I remember for a long time my sister would do that. Like every time she talked, just negative, negative. I'm like, bro, you're not gonna never have a positive day until you start speaking positive, bro. Like you
Yeah.
gotta
That's
believe
real.
it's going to get better. So
Yeah.
the small things, the small practices will help you, reshape your mental to be stronger in the long run.
And I love that we're having that conversation too. When this all whole conversation just makes me think, like reflecting on even now, right? Like it's how easy it is to say, but I want to talk to all of ourselves in those darkest moments, right? Because even now, like I feel like for myself, I'm not saying I'm in a dark moment, but I'm in a transformational moment of my life where it's
Hmm.
like this part of my life is very transformative. This is where like the caterpillar becomes the butterfly. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, but that in that moment, especially even doing these 30 days, like I kind of realized that like how crucial or everything is perspective, right? For me, this life part of life is so crucial right now because as we're getting older, it's like, dang, stuff does get harder. Cause I don't think we can downplay that because I remember I had a conversation with this girl one time, and I think I said it on the pod before, but I was like, yeah, it's all good. You don't gotta be sad. It's like just be happy. You know what I mean? You good. She's like, it's okay to be not be happy all the time.
Facts. Niggas
You
don't
Hmm.
know what I
always
mean?
want to kiss a better person in their life. I used to have to tell my mom, "Love you,
Yes.
mom. Love you, mom." And again, she's probably the only person who I've double back and like appreciate you for being there. Again, I think I've said this as well in the pod, but
Hmm.
for those of you guys, and again, I'm speaking for the supporters, people who want to
Hmm.
support. Be real with your friends sometimes. Don't always, oh, it's gonna be all right. Because sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's
Right.
not gonna be all right, and we don't want to hear that. Like we don't want to hear cliche all the time. It is good to hear, but to have Kiss It Better support system is not always the strongest support system because when you then begin, it's gonna be all right. You begin to hear this so often, but then it continues to not be all right. You start to resonate. Okay, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They're lying. It's not. It hasn't been all right as many times they said it. And I'm sick of hearing it. Now it just because now you become more of a negative supporter than a positive. So
Hmm.
it is okay to tell somebody, bro. It's not gonna like if for example, if somebody just died, yeah, it will get better. You will eventually overcome. But
Right.
it's not all
Right.
right now. Don't say that.
Right.
It's not all
Right.
right now. It's okay to
See,
not feel okay.
yeah. See, to that, it's either having that hard truth and that cold truth, or just being that ear. Sometimes a person just need just to listen. I mean, like sometimes a person just needs to talk and just needs you to listen. So it's either that though, like being real, because and oftentimes like that's even hard and tricky because you don't know what that person is feeling for real, for real. Like you're not inside their skin, like you didn't have the
KYP
same
Meech.
experiences. Say what?
KYP. KYP. Know your personnel.
Exactly.
Know your
That's
person.
real. That's real.
Know who you're talking to. Don't
Um,
tell everybody that because that could be their 13th reason.
man, man, that's crazy. For real though. For real. Um, but yeah, just like I know I've needed somebody just to be an ear for me. And
Hmm.
that just did something to me. That's like you trying to understand me. Like you hear, I know you can't provide the answer that I'm looking for, but you're trying to understand me. And that goes a long way for me. I can
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I cut out a little bit.
No, I cut out a
So
little bit. I heard what you were saying though, but I want to ask you
okay.
too, as far as like having that person. But I know a lot of the work that you're doing now is mentorship as well. And I know you touched on your mentor as well that you have. How important has that been for
Mm.
you? How important has a mentor been for you through getting through everything that you've been going through, or even still continuing to develop in your career and your life now?
It's very important. It keeps me very humble, and it keeps me being a student and not like I know it all. You know what I'm saying? Like as long as I continue to be a student, there's always room for growth and room for
Come on
learning.
now.
Um, because you get stagnant and you're trying to pour into somebody else. It's like I don't know. It's just like a caveat. Like what is we really doing? So
Hmm.
it's 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 important for growth for me personally. So
Yeah.
And that's big because at the end of the day, I feel like too many of us try to become the teacher before we learn what we need to learn. You know,
exactly,
and the fact that you're stepping into a role of teaching and helping people and guiding and mentoring, you knew, okay, I don't know it all, and I gotta go out and seek it. As long as you're willing to learn, as long as you're willing to be a sponge and absorb and grow, again, as long as you got breath for your body, you should always want to grow and get better at something. That you can
exactly.
never have too much information because knowledge is power. So
Power,
at the end of the day, as long as you continue to consistently build and grow, your possibilities are limitless. The sky
right?
is not the limit. I used to hate that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm primarily shoot for the stars, land on the moon. I don't even do that. Go past the moon, go past the stars, shoot past the skies and the cloud because there's so many things to explore. There's so many things we haven't even touched yet. So and that just goes for life. Not even in the universe sense. I'm talking about life in general. There's a lot of things in our lives, my life, your life, phases of life that we have yet to even come close to touching, but by the teachings in which even just learning from each other in this conversation is going to put
Yeah,
us closer to the end, closer to the journey. So
for
And
sure.
I, and I want
it's
to,
beautiful.
yeah, and I want to talk about the Little Needs initiative. I want to kind of get
So
into that a little bit because we're
You know,
speaking about like mentorship and giving back and things like that. Kind of, what was your motivation for starting that?
yeah, so currently I'm the director and VP of the initiative.
oh now,
Um, Me and another person who's primarily the private citizen that provides the funds and resources necessary for the initiative.
Hmm.
Um, but a lot of students have lack of resources, don't have the funds necessary in many communities.
Yeah.
Primarily my community, now sometimes it's hard for them to focus on just their education because of the lack of resources that they have. So again, that's my way of paying it forward. I'm in a position to be able to discreetly blast like, oh, I'm a student that's getting resources from this. We know how that go. You in high
Hmm.
school
Yeah.
or in middle school. So it's something that we working towards growing in West Michigan. Right now, we're seeing a lot of success in the high school, my old undergrounds,
Hmm.
and it's beautiful, man. It's rewarding. Like student may not have boots, coat for the winter, school supplies, things like
Wow.
that, and it prevents them from just actually learning and actually having a good time at school and being in a good mental state. Like we know how
Yeah.
kids are these days, so to be able to do that
Hmm.
and support them through this way is it's amazing. And if you're a
And
viewer and you want to be a donor,
yeah.
want to be a part of something as special as this, don't hesitate to reach out.
No, for sure. And I want to ask too, with that, have you had any, is it more like the you guys are doing it and you're kind of on like the back end of it, or have you had any like persistent, like not persistent, but like have you had any run-ins with students where it's like, okay, you were able to help a student out and you seen the direct effect that it had on that person? Any stories like that or any cool things like going back to the
Oh
city
yeah.
and seeing that?
Oh yeah. Because it's so discreet, I'm somebody that's not looking at which student is like actually affecting. We have champions in the school that
Okay.
deals with that, that goes out
Nice.
by the resources and things like that. I'm more of the pinpoint person where conversations come to me. I try to
Nice.
go out to get more donors, go target
Nice.
more schools and things like that. So that's the role that I play currently. But I think that's the only return on investment that I enjoy, how rewarding it is, and to see
Hmm.
that it's actually successful. So
And did you think this is what you would be doing when you were at Cornell?
nah, not at all. Not at all. We all got that, going to the league
Yeah.
in our mind,
Yeah.
and like
Come on.
that's plan A, and I didn't really talk about it, but a lot of the things that I went through were through injuries,
Hmm.
through injuries, and that happened a day before my pro day, which prevented a lot of things.
Hmm.
Um, and a lot of just injuries before that. A lot of different surgeries, knee surgeries, shoulder surgeries, injuries in high school, at
Hmm.
Cornell, and at Buffalo. So it's like it kind of followed me, but as I grew, started to get a different perspective on the situation, it started to just tap into a lot of my other talents and figure out what my purpose was in life. But um, it was the league first, and literally I just started to see a different way and started to just reflect on my story, my upbringing, and try to play that role from a different lens. I have
Hmm.
a little brother, so naturally I mentor and guide him,
Hmm.
and I just see how rewarding it is for him, and see that other athletes around him see where I can give them advice. And I think a leading just issue is like where are you at mentally? Like, that like I'm a strong believer, like the muscle is stronger than what we really know. Like the brain is stronger than what we really know. And a lot of
Hmm.
things for me stem from that. Like if I'm not in a good headspace, like I can't get nothing done. Like
Hmm.
almost, so it's like I started to connect with them on that level, and they trust me enough. I'm closer to age than somebody that's in a in a higher position.
Yeah.
I think that's
And
Um,
I think that's dope. I think it's dope.
yeah,
I like I
gotta
said, I remember first and foremost, I just want to share some of my own experiences with what you're saying and how powerful what you're doing is. I remember Young Life. Young Life is my first mentorship group. And I actually did Boys Club back in I don't know why I remember this, but Boys Club back in I want to say the fourth or fifth grade, and how important mentorship has been in my life and how important it is for us to start mentoring and being a part of our communities. Because I remember when I was in Boys Club in elementary school, something always stuck with me. And this is a saying, and I'm gonna give it to you, but it's good, better, best. Never let it
never let
rest
it
until
rest
your
to
good
you.
is
As good
better
as
to
better,
you.
and you're better than
Come on,
come on, better
come
than
on now.
yeah,
If
that.
you're gonna say
yeah.
it, finish it. If you're gonna
Yeah.
say it right.
Yeah. Come on.
But I just think that's important because at the end of the day, the way that reflects now and resonates with me now is the beauty of what you're doing right now. Not only are you mentoring and helping kids in the direction in which they are seeking to go X, Y, and Z, but you not being like you said, like you spoke about earlier, a man of flaw, a man of not perfection, and being somebody who's close to their age that can resonate with them, it makes it that much more sweeter. I think my closest mentors were people who I were not only closer to in age, but also people who I understood did not have it together. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
it's harder sometimes to look at the person who is doing everything right, but the person who was like, look, I've made mistakes, yet I can
exactly,
grow. Yeah, I can, so
exactly,
you can learn from my mistakes, and or I can learn from my mistakes and still teach you within it. Or we can learn and grow together. Like I think that is super
exactly.
impactful because I just remember you get all the old heads, they tell you stuff, and they're like, you don't need to do this, you don't need that, learn from me, but you still make the same mistakes because you weren't trying to hear that. But then when you hear
Yeah,
somebody else who closer to you that's just now recently going through that and get through this, almost like you lock in a little bit more because you're like,
mhm,
and you get stubborn or you know what I'm saying, you get clouded because you like, man, what he talking about? He ain't do
right.
X, Y, and Z, whatever it may be. But then it's like, but to the same point, he may be on to something or whatever because I've been doing everything that the old heads is telling me to do and it ain't working out. So
Mhm,
why not try something different? So I love that we have more younger
yeah,
men in our community stepping up, trying to
yeah,
show the new next generation the way because it's like, bro, we not that far from where you just was at.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
trust
And
and
you
believe
hit
you
it on the
finna get right
nose.
here soon.
You hit it on the nose. You hit it on the nose. For me, like I had like old heads reaching out to me at the age that I was like when I was in high school, and they started a group called Young Brothers. And at first, you kind of brushing it off, like like you in a whole different era. You don't really understand, but some always knew like it's some wisdom to him. He lived this life
Mhm.
that I have yet to live, and I don't know nothing about. So that's what kind of made me a little different in that sense. But now like with the younger generation, like and with anything, with men reaching out and going to go get therapy, the foundation of it all is trust, and it's got to be some type of relationship, something that they can like resonate with, or something that they can trust you with sharing the story with.
Yeah.
So I always share my story first, and always come from a humble standpoint. Like I'm far from perfect. Like I've made a lot of mistakes. I've done a lot of crazy things, and I think that opened the door. That allows them to put their shield down and share that story. And again, I'm close with them in age. I went through this. I literally, I felt like I was just in high school yesterday. Like I went through everything you just went through. So I
Mhm.
think that allows them to open up and trust me with sharing their story.
Yeah, that's
What
huge.
is your approach? I'm sorry, I ain't getting it. What is your
Girl.
approach to young men, and how do you find a way to tap into those who, like I was saying a little bit a second ago, who might not want like who are just, bro, I ain't trying to hear what you're saying. Woo, woo, because again, I know you're not giving up on people, So how do you step up to that challenge and be like, I can get through? Because there's people. I'm sure there's plenty of people who you didn't dismiss that were trying to just show you and that didn't give up on you, and you finally like, okay, bet. I mean, they broke,
Hmm.
and I'm saying you was able to resonate with them and understand. How do you respond
Yeah,
to a challenge like that?
it depends. It depends on who exactly I'm talking to. Again, I try to share my story because sometimes I feel like I live three different lifetimes. Like I've done so much,
Oh,
and
Danny.
Mhm.
uh, so it's something like it's literally like they're going through something. They in a situation that I probably went through.
They
So
don't
I will
realize it
connect,
yet.
and they don't realize it. So I connect with them on that. Like I just try to find a connection point. Like how can I literally and intentionally just connect with this person? Like we about to get into it. Like let's get into it. Like oh, this is what you're doing. I've
Oh,
done
you
that.
want to
Let
buy
me
something?
like let's get into it. Like what's the outcomes if we keep going on this path? I've known people that had bad outcomes. I've known people that had great outcomes. So like if you continue down this path or whatever it is that you're going through, whatever it is, I can give you each outcome and let you sit and think about it. Let you sit and think about it and ask you what do you really want for yourself? Like where
Mhm.
your goals? Like let's write down your goals. All right, this is what it takes if you want to obtain this goal. You want to be a Division 1 athlete? All right, this is what it takes to be a Division 1 athlete.
Been there, done that.
Like you can't really just go through the motions, go through the flow, or not have your mind in the right spot. Like let's just bring some importance to that piece as well.
Mm. And I want to ask you too, Meech, like we kind of touched on it a little bit, but I want to even get deeper into it. That transition from, okay, we talk about this with a lot of guys that are athletes on here, that transition from like, okay, maybe it's not the NFL, like, or I'm going through
Ooh,
these things and transitioning into life, right? I know that is, we talked to Lonnie and I talked to a lot of the guys about that. That could be, that's a tough transition. That's like a depression or it's like a
shoot,
identity
phase, even in
crisis,
transitioning just
midlife
like that for the
crisis.
people who do make it though. Like a lot of NFL players talk about that too. Even transitioning outside of football after that, they
Yeah.
doing football, like, they don't know what to do. So
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. So how did you in your situation, like what was that like? I want to know how
Hmm.
what was that like and kind of what were some things that you did and maybe positively or negatively during that time where that helped you get to where you are now. Because I
mhm.
think you're an amazing, like just like we talked about how inspired I am just from the man I seen you come when you was on that recruiter
Yeah.
visit to
Yeah.
how it is now. You know what I mean? We look like, okay,
Yeah.
we wouldn't expect it, but you're where you need to be. But I want to know about that transit because I know we all went through it because like it's all
Yeah.
NFL. It's all I want to get to this. I'm gonna do this, buy the mom a house, do this. But it's like, okay, we could do that in a different way. But I know it's tough getting to that point. So what was that transition like?
First, you man, you seen the growth really, really closely, man. Like you seen it like firsthand. But to answer your question, it was tough. Football has been all our first loves, and like we grind every day for it. Like like we just see it. We see a clear picture, like which is crazy. We see it clear, like we just see ourselves in the league. Like it's already made up in our minds. So I guess you just gotta, unlearn or rewind a little bit, at least kind of get that out of your mind. But honestly, personally, what helped with me, and I'm gonna just be honest and be transparent, I poured a lot into the game. Like I poured a lot into the game. I didn't have no regrets when it came to anything. Like I went hard every rep. Like I impacted a lot of people through my leadership. Uh, so it was easy for me to like, and I would say easy. I was okay with hanging up the cleats. Like I wasn't one of those guys that just chased it forever. And a couple things happened personally that took away from the love a little bit. And I hate to say it, but it was I poured so much into the game, injury after injury, and showing up. Like I just I poured so much into it, man. But it was definitely hard. But that would made it kind of like, all right, you did a lot of this stuff was out of your control. A lot of it was out of your control, like the injuries. I couldn't, time them, none of that. But I tell every athlete like your football career is separated between a dash. You got a
Mm,
start time and you got an end time. Like
mhm.
between that dash, give it your all because you don't
Yeah.
know. You don't know when it's your time to hang it up. And if you don't keep that in mind or you don't go as hard as you do, like it's gonna eat you up. It's gonna eat you up every second afterwards, after it's over. So
Yeah. And how important was your family during that time? Like during that transition, or even during those hardest times where it's like you're going through those injuries, you're going through that transition in life. Because I'm just speaking about me. Like my family is my motivation. My mother is my motivation. My like the life I want them to live is my motivation. So even outside of the football, you said every time you step between those lines, you went as hard as you could.
yeah,
But now you're in a completely different space where that may look a little bit different. You still have that same mindset where it's like, I'm trying to get to a certain location. Like it's not the NFL, but it's like in life, I'm trying to help this amount of people. I'm trying to get
right.
this place financially, be able to take care of these people, do these sort of things. So, how important is that? And what has been like the motivation with yourself and your family through that?
Very important. They are some people that was willing to support me with whatever I do, whatever I decide. Take me all the way back to when I was making my college decisions. Like whatever I decided, they were supporting and behind me, 10 toes. So that made things way easier. To know like you got people that's willing to just go to bat for you with whatever you decide to do. You
Mm,
know,
Oh yeah,
yeah, that's huge.
y'all.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Before we get into these hot takes, my goddamn forehead, bitch. I'm over here like I ain't never looked at my shit till just
Yeah, cause
now.
I
I'm
look, cause
like,
I didn't zoomed
I'm
you in and
like,
everything. Let me
yeah,
get you. I'll get you back out so
yeah.
they'll
yeah.
see all
And y'all didn't even peep. I had to sit back a little bit. I'm like, hold on.
that.
But man, let's get into the light in the mood, baby. Hot take, hot take, hot take, hot take, hot take.
Come on, come on,
Let's
come
do
on,
it.
come
Let's
on.
do last relax and chill with real Disney music. Y'all remember that? We on, man. So to lighten the mood, you didn't get to do these last time, so we about to have a little fun with you, Meech. This your show, this your episode, and the guests want to know Meech, man. They want to know about you, baby. So first, this wasn't even one of my hot take questions, but as we've been talking about this conversation, I'm like, man, this is be hella dope. Pop it off. I'm sure you've seen the movie Inside Out, and since we're on the topic of mental health advocacy and everything like that, it's only right to talk about our emotions.
Mhm.
So if you were in the movie Inside Out, knowing what the emotions are that the girl had picked out for her, what would your emotions be for your Inside Out movie?
Crazy hot take. I haven't watched the movie. Crazy hot take.
You are disappointing so many young kids out there right now, Meech. She didn't get you.
I
That you did.
barely
See, that's
seen the
wrong. You too
movie.
serious. You gotta live
I
like a
barely
kid
That's
seen it.
sometimes. You
I
gotta live
hey.
definitely
like a
fell
kid sometimes.
asleep.
Well, okay.
I'm sick.
What would be your 5 emotions that describe you?
Mm, okay, I would say joy. I don't think no energetic. I don't think that's really would that fall in the category.
Yeah,
That'd be
I
joy.
feel like
Joy was in it.
I feel like we have. I think, and I think I didn't see. I seen In and Out. I probably fell asleep a little bit, but I feel like with In and Out, it was like we all
First of
have
all,
the
this ain't no burger
emotions.
spot.
No, but listen.
Inside out.
Oh,
You talking
inside and out.
about in and
What
out.
I
This thing
say?
hungry. Are
What did
you
I say?
hungry?
I said
He
inside and
said,
out.
Are you hungry?
It's hilarious. But in what do you call it?
Inside out.
Inside out, and inside out. I think the point of it too was that like it was in the one girl's head or whatever, and we all have all the emotions,
Hmm.
but it's just that some tend to
Run the
work
board a little bit.
more than
Yeah.
others. Some
Hmm.
take control more than others. You know what I mean?
So give me a top
yeah,
three. We got joy. Let me get two more.
anxiety.
That's
Because
a
I'm
really good
Anxiety
just,
one.
showed up.
That's a really
hey,
good one.
I'm just being honest. Just be anxious about a lot of different things. About
That's a good one.
um,
Anxiety's good too. It can
what
be eager.
else?
Come on now, the big three.
Mm, the third spot always gonna be hard. Like what can top it off? Uh,
What we have? We have joy. We have anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Those are great ones, though.
Right. That's a great one too. Yeah. Say no more. I'm gonna let you hold on to that. We're gonna move right along, but we'll double back. Keep that.
okay.
Keep that. What do you feel is your best advocate of, I guess, emotions expression? Do you like to do verbal therapy, or are you a journaler?
Horrible. We got to communicate. This right here, this alone right here, like this is
Mhm.
therapeutic for sure.
Yeah.
What's one of your what celebrity or what's one of your favorite celebrities that you feel gives the best mental advice? And then can you quote one of their quotes?
Mm, that's a good one. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. It's like so many flashing in my head right now. Hold on.
Oh no. Okay, let me take the word favorite out of there. What's because favorite I feel like there's
Okay,
a lot of pressure.
that was the key word.
Yeah, yeah, pick a
Yeah.
good. You don't gotta pick your favorite, but somebody you can resonate with right now.
Because I know we got athletes, actors,
Come on
all
now.
type.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking. Yeah, I'm
Come
thinking
on now.
activist. I'm thinking somebody like Muhammad Ali.
Mm.
Um,
You know, Phase like that one.
I'll show you how
yeah,
great I am.
yeah. That alone, and who he was, what he did in the sports activist world.
One of the best.
For
That's
real.
somebody that's a true definition of adversity and persevering.
And
So
I would say like everything we touched on, like hinted on him because I think one of the greatest things about Muhammad Ali and why I love him so much is his mentality. Like everything for him was mindset. He wasn't always the biggest, he wasn't always the fastest or the strongest, but it was like he's mentally going to be better than you.
yeah,
So I think that's
yeah,
huge. That was a
for
good one.
sure.
What would be what's right now? Everybody likes music. Music is a great therapeutic, you know, tool.
Mhm.
What is the theme song of your life right now? What's your
Piece of
song?
peace, piece of peace, graphene.
Come on now, okay,
Mm,
quick with it. That's the he couldn't wait for that question. He ain't hesitate,
Piece
no
of peace.
hesitation.
come on.
This how we coming.
But he don't
Okay,
even know who Graphene is because he go by Jelani now.
Jelani.
come on
Yeah.
now.
So do
I
you know
like that
that's
Jelani stereotype now.
yeah, come on. Yeah.
I like that
Yeah.
stereotype. Come on now. Um, what's your mental health red flag?
Mm. Elaborate on that question. What you mean by that?
Okay, so
That I see in myself, see or see in others. Like what you
You can get one of each if you want. Your toxic trait.
uh
You look at
sometimes
somebody
I
with
like
unique
sometimes yeah,
issues.
sometimes I kind of hard on myself sometimes because I
Mm,
just want better, want more, you know. So I have to just remind myself like, you know, where I'm at right now, I'm living in an answered prayer right now.
mm.
So it's just that reminder just to get me backgrounded.
Living on a prayer.
Yeah. You know.
Okay.
So yeah, that'll be it. That'll be it.
I'm gonna take
Mhm.
this one out of Phaz's book. let me set the set here real quick. You're stranded on a desert island.
Go
We're gonna get
ahead.
off the mental health for a little bit. We're gonna
Go
have some
ahead.
fun. You're stranded on a desert island, Phase.
There you go. There you go.
What item do you bring with you to entertain you? And don't be cliche. I'm taking phone off the table.
I would say like a notebook, something I can sketch, write. You know, I can do a variety of different things with that. So
We're trying to be Doodle Bob. Pictures coming to
something like
life.
I gotta and
Oh my
that's
God.
crazy.
All right, all right. A few more right here. Few more. What is one of your unpopular opinions?
It could be anything, right?
Yeah. Like, for example,
Anything.
mine's right now, hate being in group chats. Don't add me to the group chat. I don't do group chats.
Okay. All right,
Like, like,
I'm gonna make it a little weirder. Peanut butter go on pancakes.
Mm.
hell yeah, peanut butter go on pancakes and they go on waffle. That's
Yeah,
Oh,
not,
yeah,
I'm with you right there.
I
yeah.
see where that's
I'm
Okay,
with you
unpopular.
okay.
right
I
there.
see. That's
I
unpopular
get
over
creative.
here.
So I might put jelly jam
Oh
on a
no, we ain't doing
pancake.
that. We ain't doing that.
Hey, don't lose me now. I support
Yeah.
Okay,
you with the
I
peanut
was
butter
with you.
jelly.
I was with
Nah,
you, but
peanut butter
you
go crazy on pancakes, waffles,
for
fire.
sure.
Because I still do peanut butter and then throw syrup on top.
Come on, man.
Come on now.
That's the only way to do it. Like,
Come on now. Let the people know who you really are.
yes, sir.
All right, all right. What's one super random skill you have? and it, I like the second half of this question. It says, what's one super random skill you have that has a zero use in life, but you're proud of it anyway?
It has zero what? I'm sorry.
Zero use in life, but you're proud of it anyway. Or what's one super random skill you have that could be useful too? But if you can think of one that's unuseful, that'd be fun to hear.
Let me see. That's a good question.
I'm trying to think of one for myself.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Say, think of one
That's
for
a
yourself, because I want to hear everybody.
Yeah, I don't know what. That's not useful.
That's not useful, but you're proud of it anyway.
Yeah, I have no
Hmm.
idea.
I have no idea. Yeah.
I think
He take it away. Let me hear this.
I don't know. We're gonna have to really sit
See,
back.
we gotta come
I want
back to
answers
it.
to that. I want
Yeah.
answers to that. We're gonna have to. The hot take question too good. I need an answer to that though. We gotta figure out. We gotta figure that out.
I'm gonna go home and think about that one.
Nah, fact. We gonna have to double back answer that, or just put it on IG. Here's our
Hmm.
hot take question. All right. About to wrap this up. Um, if you had a reality show about your life, what would you call it, and what would the plot twist be?
I would call it. I would call it brotherhood. We'll
Mm.
call it brotherhood. Um, and I guess the plot twist would be how life kind of just got easier once I found the connection with other people. You
Mm.
know, simple as that. Like, you know, and just I don't know, just have full transparency in it. I think that was a
Yeah.
turning point for me. So
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
huge.
Last question. It's a good one. What's your biggest guilty pleasure that you'll never give up, no matter how people judge you?
Can you repeat that?
What's your biggest guilty pleasure that you'll never give up, no matter how people judge you? I'm trying to know the real her.
um, hmm, I'm not trying to be just basic with these answers. I'm trying to actually get
So he's trying to
into
be
it.
deep with it.
I'm trying to
But
see
it'll
what
be
mine is too.
yeah, it'll be the pancakes. It'll be with the
Come on now.
pancakes. I'm not gonna
Hey,
lie.
can't
I
go wrong
can't
with
I
that.
Facts.
Hey,
can't go wrong
can't
with
go wrong
that.
with that.
And Meech, I want to ask you too, because I know you had told me you have a mental health journal that you're creating, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I want to talk about that. What was the inspiration behind that?
The short answer is my story
Mhm.
and other people's story. Like I hear,
Yeah,
a lot of people like EG. EG was somebody that was the
yeah,
first to like battle
EG with it.
and I seen how it affected him and I just seen how he turns that into something purposeful. Expect greatness. Like that alone is just, beautiful. And there's much more to athletes than they know and that they realize. So that's
You
kind of
know, way much
and that
more.
was the spark of it for sure.
yeah. And a mental when you say a mental health journal, it's going to be like you're just going to create your own journal because like you
Yes.
believe in the power of journaling for
Yep.
everybody, like being able to
Uh-huh.
write down, get those ideas down and stuff like that, and know what you can create from that.
100%. 100%. So it's
That's
basically
powerful.
a message that connects with anybody, whether you're in high school, professional, college, or a former athlete. I'm creating something for former athletes as well. A message
Mhm.
and a prompt where people can respond to whatever prompt I decide to lay out for them, and end it with a mental rep, something that you could take with you and apply, put it into practice. So
Yeah.
it's things that as I reflect, it's things that helped me along the way, and just being full transparent, sharing my story in a journal, and just connecting with people. Again,
Yeah.
that's the foundation for it all.
And I know you always been like since Cornell, I know you've been an entrepreneur because I know you had the brand. I wish I had it right now. It's in the closet somewhere. I should have pulled it out.
On it, look,
I
I'm gonna
tweaked.
remind you. It
Yeah.
on the back of it, it says owning opportunities over obstacles.
Yes.
Again, that's a whole perspective shift in itself. Obstacles is inevitable. Like things going to happen along the way. It's going to be
Hmm.
roadblocks. But if you just change your perspective, look at it differently, and try to find the opportunity in it, like you're
Hmm.
doing yourself a favor.
Yeah. And what about I know you have that too. What about the mental because you're doing a mental health clothing brand too? Because I
Yeah,
think with that
Oh yeah.
because it's pretty cool just like we talked about EG and how he's taken what he went through turned it into a brand he's training I'm going out for the 30 days I went through his training I was like he had me on he got me going crazy all 30 days it's a great workout but I think it's real
yeah,
cool to see the importance of branding whatever it is that we're doing your brand, if you are into the mental health, if that's what you're doing now, not only just in there and doing the work, but it's like, okay, I'm also going to brand this. I'm also going to
yeah.
market this. That's just another way that it could touch so many people. So tell me if you have a name for it or like what is it
Mhm.
and kind of what are you doing with that now?
Yeah. So I do have to wrap it up on my end, but
Hmm.
quickly, um, it's me trying to bring and make it cool, like make it cool. Like
Hmm.
I'm um I'm at the intersection of fashion and mental health. And basically what the pieces is statement apparel. Is statements that's uplifting.
Mm.
But again, it could be streetwear, it could be just something that's appealing, something that's just cool. And that's my whole goal and purpose is to make mental health cool again. Like why was it never cool in
Simple
the
as
first
that.
place? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Simple as
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah. And
yeah.
the last question I'm gonna ask you so you can get out of here, man. The final question.
You the
Day
first person to do it
29
too, Pete,
of
baby.
the unfazed pod is how do you stay unfazed?
Kill the music.
Hey, you back, baby. Nah, but It's all God. It's all God. He helped me stay unfazed when a lot of things is thrown my way. And we talked about it today. It's power of perspective. You you only let stuff phase you if you looking at it negatively. So I try to have a glass half full perspective and always being optimistic about any situation that's thrown at me. Again, it's inevitable. It's gonna happen. So, change the perspective because there's so much power in it.
Amen, brother. Amen. He did it again. That's day 29. We have Meech on the pod talking about everything, man. This is not the last time he's gonna be back. This is number 2 for you, but he's
It's
gonna be
number
back a
two
third
already.
time very
Yes, sir.
soon.
Before we get out of here,
Yeah, what you got?
not unpopular, my skill that don't have no use. I'm gonna give you 2. My first one is
Mm-hmm.
I think I can identify a BMW just by seeing it from the side. So
Mm,
if I can see it from the side, I
Okay.
get like good angle, I can tell you what series it is at least.
mm-hmm.
And I can whistle. I can whistle songs. And
I
I'm
get
sticking to it. They're my skills and I'm sticking to it.
that may come in handy one day. I
You
don't
never
know.
know.
You're right.
Hey, stay unfazed, everybody. We out of here.
I'm unfazed. I'm unfazed.